Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is XFerginatorX and we're going to cover another Controversies video today. Today we're going to be covering a subject that I am very passionately annoyed by and definitely want to see it gone, and that is friendly fire. I am so annoyed by this, and I've seen many arguments for and against it, and I decided to cover this one. I think it's probably out of the top 20 most controversial subjects when it comes to Halo, but this one definitely is very controversial. For those that don't know what friendly fire is, it means to inflict damage to your teammates, whether you shoot them with a bullet, whether they get hit by blast damage, or whether they get hit by a vehicle and so forth. Basically intentionally killing your teammates, or even unintentionally killing your teammates. It was originally supposed to be, in the very beginning, introduced as a way to make you more cautious when you aim and shoot. That was back when movements were a little bit slowed down. But as time progressed, and with faster paced movement, people thrusting around and getting in front of people's line of sights a lot more easier, and also with weapons and vehicles made that just seem to have more prone accidents to happen with them, and also more challenges and commendations and achievements added into the game, and more stats and so forth that people care about, and also just people just flat out trolling. It's actually increased the number of people that are constantly getting their Halo experience ruined by a lot of people with this feature, and it seems to be something that just is something people don't want. You don't want, people seem to now have this thing where there's always going to be at least one person in their match that's always going to either go around and start team killing you intentionally or on accident, and it's just really annoying. So firstly, I'm going to address some of the fallacy points of the other arguments the other side uses that are kind of just, I really don't like them. Some of them I don't feel like are really that valid, but I'm still going to cover them. But yeah, some of the elitist types really use this argument a lot, which is, again, really not even a valid argument, which is, it's already been there since the beginning, so therefore it has to stay. That is some sort of staple. That is completely false. It actually has been removed, and when it was removed, no one even noticed it was gone. That's the funniest thing about it. I did a couple videos about that, about how, like, if something was removed, no one will actually notice it's gone. Like, if I said right now that Halo 5 doesn't have decrouching, people were like, wait a second, it's not there? There's no decrouching when you get shot? Like, yep. Well, same thing when it happened with Halo 4. They removed friendly fire almost entirely out of it. I don't think they even had it at all in the game. But there's some game modes that don't even have friendly fire in it. And yet, funny enough, even when it's gone, no one notices it. No one noticed it until it came back in Halo 5. That's when people noticed it back again, and people were just getting sick and tired of some of the BS people would do. Especially like with a lot of Halo games, especially with Halo 5, when they had Griffball, whenever, I don't know why they never turn this off. They never turn off friendly fire every time. Every Halo game seems to do that. I think Halo 3 is the only one that they remember not to put friendly fire in it. But Halo Reach, Halo 4, Halo 5, they all seem to have Griffball, have friendly fire on, and Halo 5 has the worst Banehammer system. So I remember one time just sitting back in Griffball and watching, and by the end of the match, I was the only original player that was still in the match. Everyone else was all JIP players, because of the fact that everyone had died by team killing and so forth, and got removed, and they got booted from the match by the other person. By the time it was over, the first week when Griffball came out, there was just a match where I just wanted to see how bad it was, and by the time it was over, I was the only original player from the game. That's how annoying that this is, and how much of a fiasco it causes, because this element that they keep saying is such a staple. Meaning it's a staple would mean that it would have some sort of importance to keep the game together, or else it'll completely fall apart. But it seems like it does more harm than it does good, because it seems to be kicking a lot of people by accident. People seem to be more accident prone with this, and with changing times, thus certain things shouldn't be a staple anymore because they're not really contributing their part anymore. Another very rare and very uncommon event that people love to keep throwing out these scenarios that originated from Halo Reach was this whole idea that people are going to sit outside of the green room or the lift room, whatever it's called on Longsword that people call it by, and that people are going to have like a discussion like, hey, okay, the red team's all in that room together. Well, let's sit here together and let's discuss this while they're in the other room knowing that we're on the other side. And what we're going to do is I'm going to throw a sticky grenade on you and you're going to run around and run in there and you're let it explode and kill you and kill all the enemies in the room. First off, a couple things here actually, but first off, no one does that. Like, even if people show me examples of stuff like this, no one's sitting out there discussing it. It usually happens by accident. No one throws a perfect sticky grenade and the other person knows at that point to be able to run in with a short amount of time that grenade, when it's stuck, before it goes off, to get in that room before it goes off and kill everyone in there. No one has that perfect kamikaze strategy ever. I've never actually seen anyone pull off that ever in a game. And also the fact is they're intentionally doing it. They know, both those players know that they're doing it so that they can go in that room and kill someone in that room. So they're openly okay with sacrificing 1 point if it means getting 4 kills, which means in the end they get a +3. So to them, it's not going to matter to them at all. So that's what I don't understand. And usually it won't even matter because of the fact that usually those other 4 players will at least do a little bit of ounce of damage to that player that's going to kamikaze, so they're going to get the point anyways. It's not going to count against them, so that friendly fire did absolutely nothing in the end. So I really just don't see the point of that at all as an argument, because they're already doing it intentionally, so it's not really going to they already know that they're like, okay, when the boot option comes out, they're going to forgive them, of course. So why exactly does that need to even be an example? Because it really doesn't work, and that argument has been dead since Reach, but people still try to use that dead argument. Another hilarious argument, the one that I always like to make fun of, is this one of realism. Again, I'm going to be a little bit biased here because I'm really annoyed by some of the stuff people do. But yeah, let me cover this one. Realism is the stupidest argument I've ever heard. Oh, it promotes realism. If you wanted realism, Arma is your game. Halo is a sci-fi shooter game. It has so many elements in it that aren't realistic. Plasma, for example, in the books, if you read Halo, plasma is absolutely ridiculously overpowered. In gameplay, it's been changed so that it's more balanced. They're not going to put friendly fire in there if, obviously they don't need friendly fire for realism. There's so many other elements that, matter in this game, and the fact of the matter is people don't buy Halo for realism. They buy it for the sci-fi element. So I think that's kind of a ridiculous argument right here. And lastly, the only argument I can find on this point that does exist is that skill part. And again, skill used to be a thing. The problem is it lost its element when they added all these other things in there. If they got rid of a lot of these elements, I could actually see friendly fire still existing, but that flagship, that whole opinion or that point kind of sailed away when they decided to add in all these achievements, challenges, and so forth, and add in commendations and add in faster movements and so forth. I mean, I've had situations where people kill me over a weapon. One of the worst experiences I ever had, I even had a post on the forum because I got so frustrated about this that I was like, something needs to get done about this. This was when they brought in the Spanker rocket launcher. And they brought it into the multiplayer, and so people wanted to get the commendation done with, so people were actually forming bully groups. That's what I want to call them. I don't know what else to really call them, where these like 5 or 6 players in BTB, I'm trying to remember the map, I forgot the name of it, but basically the Spanker was the only rocket launcher, that was the only time you'd ever see the rocket launcher was on that map. And so this group, they were like a bully group. That's the best way to describe it, because they were pretty much just threatening everyone in the thing, everyone else that wasn't part of the group. They go, hey guys, we're going for our Spanker commendation here. We're going to be getting that done with, so you're going to make sure that we get that Spanker rocket launcher, and we're going to have it, and we're not going to try to be mean to you and all, but we need to get that commendation done, so for our YouTube videos. So if you want us to get that done with, you will let us do that. If not, we will have have a coordinated plan to team kill you. So just a heads up, you will be giving us that rocket launcher one way or the other. Like, they literally were that fucking ridiculous. I absolutely got irritated with them, the way that they were talking to me, talking to me and everyone in the group that wasn't part of their group, that they're saying, hey, we're gonna get the rocket launcher, we're gonna get our commendations, and you're gonna allow us to happen, or we're gonna find ways to team kill you. And team kills, they did. I was like, I'm not gonna have it. If I get the rocket launcher, I get the rocket launcher, which I did get it several times. And when I got it, they had it all coordinated, speaking to each other. They were like, okay, hey, such and such, I'm gonna need you to splatter him with the wraith and whatnot. And they were just coordinated this entire thing. They go, okay, I got 2 team kills on him, so I can't do any more, so I'm gonna need you to such and such to start doing the team killings on him. Basically, they were all coordinating this whole thing of team killing me to get it. And when they finally used up all their team killing, then they resorted to the point of saying, okay, make sure you guys just don't kill him, just do enough damage to take out a shield and let the enemy do the rest. They were basically doing whatever they could to make sure that I had a bad experience if I went for that when I went for that rocket launcher. And they're like, well, and like on the forums, I hate how people were saying, being so supportive, saying, well, you know, you should have just not gone for the rocket launcher. You should have let them have it. Like, is this what we've come to, where we're going to use friendly fire as a justification to bully people so that way we can get our commendations done quicker? This stuff annoys the shit out of me. This whole commendation stuff that people, like, if that didn't exist, think about this. If that didn't exist, they wouldn't have team killed me. So the fact of the matter is that because of these stupid commendations and stuff people put in the game, which I probably hate more than the whole friendly fire, it's ruined the experience. But again, even without that, you have people moving around the map really fast, and even when it's not super fast moving, but in Halo 3, I've had situations where people were complete idiots, and other times where they weren't idiots, but it was the damn game, where they spawn you in the worst way possible. Like, I was aimed in sniper, and I was on the map Avalanche. I was way out to the side. I tried to get away from everyone else so I could snipe in peace by myself. And what does the game do? Spawns a dude right next to me and walks right in front of my sniper rifle as I'm firing, and I'm zoomed in. And I'm away from everyone, but I didn't see the guy had just spawned right next to me, walks right in front of my scope right as I fire to shoot a guy across the map. It sucked. And then another time, in the same exact spot, I had a rocket launcher, and I tried to aim at this tank that was not moving, and I was like, okay, perfect, sweet, I'm gonna shoot this tank with this rocket launcher and get that kill across the map. And I'm shooting it, and I'm watching it go across the map. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so good when it hits. And then some SOB doesn't watch where he's going, flies his damn his damn Hornet right into the line of sight. And that just, irritated the hell out of me just because of that. And I got kicked from the match because I killed, I think, 2 times or something like that. Or no. Oh, because there was a guy in the side seat too, so it counted as a kill for him. So I got 3 kills, friendly fires in a match, and I tried everything to do to avoid it. But because other people are being complete idiots, I end up getting that. They could have seen that. They could have seen that, being more observant where they're flying. But no, they flew right into the rocket launcher, because they were idiots, not focused on it. And he turns over to the Scorpion, and he's gonna start shooting the Scorpion, and boom, my rocket, which already had taken off, I can't do anything now, it's already flying, and the guy in the Hornet just flies right in, goes boom, and hits the damn rocket because he's not paying attention. And of course that counts against me, even though I was not intentionally trying to team kill anyone. And that just irritated me because I'm getting kicked for that. People were just like, oh, well, you should have been more observant. I was observant. There was no Hornet. The guy got in the Hornet and then flew across the map right as my rocket was flying across the map, and when it got to the other side, he was right there, and boom, gets hit by it. And I'm supposed to somehow have ESP, or the ability to foresee the future and know that there's going to be some guy with a Hornet that's just going to magically fly across the map, and that nonsense. It was just bullshit. And the people that will keep continuing to excuse it every time, of saying, oh, that I should somehow have known that all these accidents were going to happen and whatnot. It's ridiculous, the fact that I have to completely compensate for all this stuff, all these factors in that would not normally happen. If it was Halo CE, you don't worry about your teammate's Banshee necessarily jumping in front of your, rocket launcher. The chance of that ever happening was rare because there's rarely any maps that ever had a Banshee on it. You were mostly playing in an indoor map or something like that. Again, there was so much limitation back then versus today. There's a ton of factors you got to factor in. All of a sudden, someone might teleport right next to you and then all of a sudden pop up, and again, so many other things that you have to factor in that you might as well never fire a rocket launcher because you're gonna accidentally every now and then fire a rocket launcher. It's gonna be a teammate that's gonna be right there that decides to jump right in front of you. I mean, hell, have you even played Star Wars Battlefront 2? My God, are there so many people that walk in front of your line of sight all the time that if they had friendly fire turned on, people would be friendly firing all the time. And let's talk about some of the things here, examples of things that I want to say that there are people like me that support removing friendly fire. Again, most casual and even casual to competitive games have removed friendly fire or never even brought it in. For example, Gears of War and Battlefield, they do not have friendly fire, yet again, Battlefield is more competitive than Halo is, and Gears of War, oh my God, is it far more competitive. Don't even get me started on how many people do all that crazy ass wall bouncing, Superman headshot nonsense, and then try and tell me that is less skilled than Halo. That is not even close. In comparison about how competitive, sweaty people are in Gears, and how much harder that is. So most games that do, because they want to limit, most games do remove friendly fire because they want to limit the amount of trolling, and it works. Not the best argument, I'll admit, but at least it's against friendly fire, and it brings up the mentioning about the validity of needing friendly fire, because those two games on their own are competitive than Halo is, and yet at the end of the day it still ends up not needing friendly fire in order for it to be competitive. So I don't see that as a valid argument to keep friendly fire if other games that are more competitive can do fine without it. Next is how friendly fire fails to punish the correct people. Like as I explained before, you might be scratching your head at how a lot of times where people find ways to just get around the system and whatnot. For example, what people sometimes do, a lot of times there's two different ways. It's always a mix. It's either they intentionally do damage to you to lower your shield down so that the enemies can get an easy one shot on you. That's one way they get around it, so that way the enemy gets the kill and then they can pick up your weapon. Or B, the other way is they wait till the enemy starts doing damage to you, then they beat the shit out of you, so then you die and it won't count against them, and then they will get your weapon. So one way or the other, it's gonna happen. And that's the worst part, is no matter what you do, your team, these people can find ways around it. They can either intentionally team kill you to make it quicker, or they can just wait till you do enough damage and then try and get you removed from the game by or wait till you take enough damage so they can take you out and get your weapons. And unfortunately they do this a lot. I've seen so many matches now where this gets affected by in fact, one of the matches I probably will play in the background is a match where I played Halo Reach, where both sides even amount 8v8, but when it was over, I think 8v8, I think that was the amount, or 6v6, I can't remember how many there were, but when it was over, it was just us two left. The other ones had quit and the other side was just team killing each other, and that's how we ended up winning. What happened to two good equal teams playing against each other and whatnot, not having to worry about team killing, all this nonsense? But no, that's not the thing anymore. People are constantly worried about these irrelevant things that happen now, and it basically ruins it with the friendly fire. I've watched other people play videos where a whole entire team will, pretty much half the team or more is gone because of friendly fire. I've played so many matches where when it comes to BTB, where it never gets to the end because of friendly fire. And again, with that constant ban hammer that bans people for months on end in Halo 5, is just absolutely ridiculous. The fact that it's just a complete disaster of just banning the wrong people for things like Griffball. And again, a lot of these team killing groups are ridiculous. I end up making sure the fire, I got so tired of that team that was bullying me in the match that I just, every time I got the rocket launcher, I just wasted intentionally just so that they couldn't get it, and just frustrate them more. Which again, at the end of it, they go, okay, don't worry, you guys, we got it all covered here. We did as much as we could, but Sergeant Fergus here wouldn't let us get the rocket launcher. Make sure everyone just report him, just a little bit of punishment. We just need you to understand that things need to go our way, okay, we're gonna ruin your reputation a bit, just so that way it makes it harder for you to find matchmaking games. These people are absolute D-bags. They will do anything to ruin it, and it's always caused by these little clan or booster groups that will threaten to do this stuff to you and ruin your experience. Whether through polls or just experiences, I've seen, people just really don't like friendly fire. It's just not fun. It's not really that great, and it actually ruins a lot of experience. And again, a lot of people didn't even know in Halo 4 that it was gone. That was actually one of the few things that I liked about Halo 4 was when the friendly fire was gone. Whenever I got a sniper rifle, I didn't have to worry about my teammate trying to kill me in the back. Unfortunately, the one thing is there was one thing of friendly fire that still did exist, and that was being run over. That was like the only thing that still existed. Everything else didn't. And that's the only thing. Unfortunately, because of the fact that they removed booting as an option as well, that ended up allowing for people to run splatter people like crazy for the fun of it with a Warthog. They could have still had that turned on. I don't know why they turned it off, just for those people that splatter people, while at the same time having friendly fire turned off, but having a boot option. Even in Halo Reach, as a going away, how much we hate you, Bungie to Microsoft, pretty much, Bungie turned off the friendly fire off of all matchmaking games in Halo Reach when they left, and then 343 had to turn it back on through an update. That's how much they really wanted to stick it to Microsoft when they had to leave, and they go, well, you're not going to support our project that we wanted you to support because you want us to keep making Halo games. Well, guess what? One final update, we're going to really improve this, everyone. You're really going to love it. And boom, it was just friendly fire somehow got turned back on, which I'm absolutely positive Bungie turned it back on, and basically everyone was just team killing each other constantly because they knew that no punishment would come to them. So it's absolutely ridiculous. And again, people do this because it helps boost their stats and whatnot. They kill one of their teammates, get a sniper rifle, get 8 kills with it. They don't really care because they end up getting better stats. So that's just one of the annoyances about how it just really ruins the experience. This line of behavior just has grown over time. I remember back in the early days of Halo 1 and Halo 2, whenever you played online, you didn't have to worry about this. You didn't have to worry about people team killing as often. The only time anyone team killed was when they really did get frustrated or they were just goofing around. Other times people were like, because the fact that there was no needing to get the sniper rifle, I was always like, hey, such and such is good with sniper rifle, let him have it. We actually worked together, and people that we thought were really good at sniper rifle would get the sniper rifle, and then everyone else who wasn't good at sniper rifle, we didn't care about killing our teammates over it because we didn't really care because we were not everyone was good at it, and we were always letting other people have it. But as they ended up adding more and more features, like, oh, you got to get 20 kills with this weapon and so forth, now all of a sudden people have this need to get that weapon. Before you could just play the way you wanted to play, but now you're forced to play certain things in order to get certain perks, which is what causes a lot of these problems. That's why they should never actually exist in multiplayer, because of the fact that it causes people to be more anti-team based. I feel the reason there's been this rise in betrayal is because of these certain aspects. That's why I didn't see it much in Halo CE and Halo 2, but then in Halo 3 I saw people team killing each other for the Spartan laser so they could try and get a double kill with the Spartan laser, and they saw, oh, such and such has it, so I'm going to team kill him. And then Halo Reach, it really jumped up because of the fact that people were trying to get all those commendations done. And then at least Halo 4 died out because of the fact that they removed it, but that's the thing. And then what's it called? I think yeah, it's just people were killing me for a mantis in Halo MCC because they were all mad because I was doing really well with it. And so, what was it called? And then, like, in Halo 5, people really go try hard with clans as well, and just team kill for like things like a Spanker rocket launcher. But anyways, back on track here. I keep talking about a lot of instances I've had. Halo 3, that was like two of the common reasons why people started betraying more was achievements and stats. Then in Halo Reach they introduced commendations and so forth, and then Halo 4 rolls out no friendly fire, and my experience with big team battle was way better. I had less douchebags doing all sorts of douchey things to me. And then Halo 2 Anniversary, I didn't play a whole lot due to the connection issues. Usually there was a lot of connection issues, but there's, you know, some team killing in there too as well. Let's see here. And then Halo 5, you know, continued on. Let's see, trying to, you know, read my notes here about other things to mention. But yeah, there's quite a few things that just, I hated how much, you know, these things would happen where people just fooling around and like intentionally team kill. In fact, I think, what's it called? I think, in Halo 2 or Halo MCC Anniversary, there's just Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo MCC, there's people like team killing on there and like zombies just to get to the top, even though there's no gain out of it too. I think they're just doing it out of stats, which I think is ridiculous. I wish they would just remove that. But I mean, what's the solution here? There has to be something to resolve, and I personally think just removing entirely. Some people don't want it removed and want it to stay, so I think we need to come to a compromise on some of this stuff. Either one of the compromises here is that we remove friendly fire entirely from casual playlists for like social, and then only keep it for arena. But I still don't think that's enough, in my opinion. I'm still pretty strongly opinionated on that. Either that, or have it so that, you know, when I shoot my sniper rifle or my rocket launcher, it goes through the enemy, through my teammates. Because again, Halo 4 and Halo 5 and so forth, and what they were saying was all the battles are simulations. They're not the real thing. So why, you know, why, if that's the case, why can't we have it just pass through? But I have a better option as I thought about this as time's gone through and whatnot, and I've, you know, written the script a while back, but now that I think about it, there's a better way I think that we can resolve it, and that is with blacklisting. I really am going to keep pushing this as another option too as well. Blacklisting should exist. What should happen is, if someone gets team killed, or the, like, whether it's a person that team killed, or the person that did the team, or is it, if you did the team killing or someone else did the team killing to you, that you should have the presented options of avoiding the other person. The reason being is that what this does is it gets rid of that factor. So if you're someone that got team killed, you can actually avoid that player, and if that player if you kill that player, that you can also block them. Because I know that it seems a little like unfair and whatnot, but one of the advantages here is so that if people you know, if someone's intentionally just team killing you for a weapon, you don't feel like you can't fight back because you'll get blacklisted. But then again, who cares at that point? Because if that person trying to team kill you for a power weapon, you don't want to play with that person, because that person is going to try and, you know, do that to you every time. So if you blacklist them, you don't have to play with them anymore in matchmaking. I feel like that would actually be a really good advantage to have that. You know, that's also would cure a lot of the other problems, like people committing suicide a lot, or quitting the match. If you can, like, again, these are only for these factors, so you can't be like, oh, I'm gonna block this person because he does really good. I think that, you know, if they block that person, that they should, you know, at least do that where they can they block him only for those certain elements. They can't just block him because he's really good. They have to, you know, whether they got team killed, whether they quit, or whether they you know, did friendly fire. And so suicide, friendly fire, quitting, if they do that, you get to block them. And if you do the friendly fire to that person, more than likely, I'm thinking most times when that happens, that it's someone intentionally jumping in your line of sight, not paying attention, or B, they are, you know, intentionally trying to team kill you, and you're just trying to, you know, protect yourself before they kill you for your power weapon. I think those are some fair things, but I also think on top of all that, they need to just remove all these elements that promote that habit as well, too. That's something else, because the whole idea of, oh, let's put achievements and challenges and stuff like that, it just encourages anti-team play. In like other games I play, like for example Battlefront, one of the things is play 5 minutes of an aerial trooper. Well, what ends up happening, people get aerial aerial troopers and they just sit in the back of the map for 5 minutes. So a lot of these things, a lot of these commendations and challenges and all these things they put in games, they encourage people to not play the game as is. If these things didn't exist, people would play them otherwise without those factors in there. So that's something else that they should, think about, whether they should remove commendations, whether they should have blacklisting, whether they should just entirely remove friendly fire itself, because again, it's been proven that it's not lost its competitive edge with it being gone. Other competitive games have still done fine with competitive aspects to them, still with friendly fire being gone. But again, that's just my take on it. I mean, there's going to be some people that are going to have different opinions on this, on where they stand on this, whether that would apply in things like just arena and social, or whether it be in Warzone, and if they even decide to even do a battle royale, how that would be done, if they're going to turn that off. No team killing allowed with like ramming projectiles, or have it passive, all that kind of stuff. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I even did a poll just to see where everyone stood on this as well, what their opinions were on a couple groups. But I just wanted to get everyone's opinion in this, and if you want to vote, I'll try and put the links down below so that you guys can also vote on that as well. And if you guys want to contribute to the discussion, comment down below, give this video a like, dislike, however you feel about it, share it around with people that you're having arguments with online about the different arguments for and against it. And also if you want to see more of these controversy videos, make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, hit those notifications, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Everyone take care. Peace.
Yeah.